It's either Bola Ahmed Tinubu resigns honorably or
God,
be
I
ready
beg.
to face the disgrace that will happen to him and the APC in 2027. Every right meaning Nigerian of good conscience knows that this present government of the APC and Tinubu, they've not done well. Security, F9. Economy, F9. The greatest and the largest opposition is not the NDC. It's not the PDP. It's not even the ADC.
So what is it?
It is the voters. For instance, out of those 100 registered voters, only 10 come out to vote. What you have done is you have given the incumbent governments who want to come into power by any means and all means the opportunity to be able to infuse 90 votes that the people did not cast in that election.
So the 2027 elections are exactly 6 months away, and there's been visible tension in the political landscape in the country. In the moments leading up to, before the moments leading up to the current where we are now, we've never seen what's going on with different factions. Today we're hearing that they want to deregister the ADC. Tomorrow they are filing lawsuits against the NDC. Tomorrow there's PDP. What's it called? PDP fielding different candidates. Today is Good Luck as their candidate. Tomorrow is somebody else. So there's just been a lot of brouhaha across the political landscape. And this has never happened in the history of Nigeria. We haven't seen it as much as, as visible and as palpable as it is currently in present day. And I have a very, very, concerning question or disturbing question. And I believe that a lot of other people have that question as well. However, not many will want to come out openly and say that that is the concern that they have. But before we jump right into it, I have a very special guest with me in the studio. You guys are going to have to give him drum rolls now. So he's a political commentator and a registered member of the ADC and also a part of the ADC strategic media team. So please, drum rolls for Mr. Christopher Ebu Obi. Woo! Drum rolls. Now, where's the drum rolls? Okay, so thank you very much for joining us on this episode, Mr. Christopher.
Thank you for having me.
Likewise. And so the question is, I really hope that we have enough time to do justice to the question, because in my perspective, I like to say that the opposition that we have currently looks very disgruntled and unstructured.
Okay.
And I'm going to say that I said that for a reason. I said that because I already talked about how there are different factions. The people that we used to know as opposition in the past, they now have structural issues that have really, really, really impacted the party, and I feel like they are losing what initially used to hold them together, what we knew them as, that spice or the capacity that I feel that they had. So now the question is, looking at the faction that has eaten deep into the PDP, we have the faction that is loyal to the FCT minister and the faction that is loyal to the Oyo State governor. We look at the ADC with the whole Atiku and Amechi's partnership or alliance. And then you look at the NDC, Peter Obi and Kwankwanso, which somebody recently came out to say that the North is not going to vote for him. So can we really say that we have an opposition that is strong enough or has the capacity enough to unseat this current administration?
Okay. Once again, thank you for having me. Whenever I get the opportunity to talk about our dear country, Nigeria, there's this spike in my temperature. That spike is the spike of there's work to be done, and of course, I believe we are on the right path to getting that job
I don't know
done.
why Basi puts his head down and is smiling. Why are you smiling?
I'm smiling.
All right. So you asked a question about the opposition being disgruntled,
Yeah.
being fractionized, as the case may be. However, before I answer that question, one major point I need to make out is, as I speak with you presently, the greatest and the largest opposition is not the NDC, it's not the PDP, it's not even the ADC,
So what is it?
it is the voters.
Okay.
Now, as long as we all are concerned, every rights meaning Nigerian of good conscience knows that this present government of the APC and Tinubu, they've not done well. Security, F9. Economy, F9. Healthcare,
Power,
F9.
electricity.
Infrastructure, F9. Good governance in general, F9. So, as long as every Nigerian have accepted this fact that they've not done well, trust me, come 2027, Tinubu will not be in Aso Rock, because the greatest opposition and the greatest political party is the Voters' Party, and they are ready to vote out this present government. However,
I was
just to
coming there.
streamline my answer based on your question, you see, in every society where opposition exists, there will always be a time where there'll be different opinions, there'll be different pathways to voting out the incumbent party. You made mention of the fact that the NDC is facing
Court cases.
the PDP on one side, the ADC on one side. But there's one factor that you have not mentioned, which is the fact that we are presently experiencing what I call judicial banditry and judicial rascality,
Okay, so you need
which
to.
is the cause of all these hula baloo and shenanigans going on. Because if we had an independent, and this is my own opinion,
Yeah.
if we had an independent judiciary, some of these cases would have just been determined
Thrown
over
out.
time. Do you understand what I'm saying? Present, as I speak with you, the case as regards the registration of the ADC has been moved to 24th of July.
Okay.
Sorry, on 14th of July. That of the PDP concerning the Turaki faction and the
Wike
Wike
faction
faction has been moved to July 10. Why the delay from the judges? So this is what is making it look like court case here, court case there. However, like I said, I want you to understand something, that talks are still going on. And don't be surprised if at the end of the day, from the ADC to the NDC, we'll have one united opposition.
And after that, I want to ask you a very specific question,
Okay.
right? However, it's my perspective, but I believe that if I think like that, I'm sure there are a couple of other people who have the same perspective towards it. And then afterwards, I think I'm going to bring him in because I have some other questions I want to ask him.
Okay.
So my question is, you talked about how we shouldn't be surprised if in the coming days, because of ongoing talks and consultations and all of that, if, there'll be an alignment with the ADC and the NDC. So I'm going to have to say, right, I was a bit disappointed.
And the reason for that alignment, because we have a common enemy.
No problem.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree on that. However, you cannot categorically or exhaustively discuss these things if you don't look at some things going on at the grassroots level now. During the just concluded APC primaries, there was a video that I came across when somebody said that the APC openly did vote buying in one of the western states, right? And she was literally flaunting the monies that were given to them when I don't know why he's laughing.
It was actually the Ekiti State
Thank you.
election.
They can say their states, yes, their gubernatorial election now.
Yeah.
So there are things that you don't have complete control over, right? I'm saying this in light of what you said about the majority being the Voters' Party and all of that. We cannot come out and vote a party that is not on the ballot.
Okay.
Regardless of we being the majority and our unism bringing the final say, if we want to vote is not on the ballot, how do we then achieve what we want, right? And because of the systematic failures, there are a lot of people who their morale or the hopes that they have for this country is already being bashed completely.
Okay.
People will tell you that they have their voters card, but they are not going to vote.
Okay.
The reason is because who I vote may not necessarily count.
Okay. Okay.
So why should I come out and vote? And then you tell me that I'm the majority. That's one. Secondly, people will always sell their votes, regardless of the fact that we are the majority. And if we all come together and we say this government has not done right by us, so we want them out. There are people who, like it or not, and they are in their millions, would sell their votes for momentary benefits and all of that. So I don't really think that alone, we saying we're the majority alone in itself, can give us the change that we want to see. That's one. Secondly, I was a bit disappointed when I saw that, the former Minister of Transportation had aligned with your principal now.
His Excellency, the
yes,
incoming
I was,
President
because,
of the Federal Republic
and
of
speaking
Nigeria
from experience,
come 2027,
we
Alhaji Atiku
we can't
Abubakar.
say that for sure yet, right?
Well, I'm saying that.
We can't say that, for that's your personal opinion. But here's what I'm trying to say. I grew up in Rivers State, and I wasn't too small, so I kind of know that when he was governor, when Amechi was governor, he did well. At least, if not for anything, the educational sector.
Thank you. You mentioned
Hold on
that.
now, the educational sector thrived under his government.
Thank you very much.
But he said earlier that he didn't want to be anybody's vice president or running mate. Okay. So I was a bit disappointed when I saw that he had finally agreed to be Atiku's running mate. Because this is Atiku we're talking about. This is somebody that has gone through this cycle over and over and over. Okay. And there has been no major headway. Okay. So what is the one guarantee that we have now that this opposition being led by him is going to bring us to the point of the promised land that we want to go to in 2027?
Okay. Thank you so much for this question, because you've been able to combine about 3 questions together, and I'll take them one after the other. The first question I was able to deduce from your statements is that of the Ekiti State incidents, where vote buying was prevalent, and even people went online to flaunt the money they were paid, as the case may be, if that will encourage people to vote, if their votes will count. Let me read a statement from you. This is from Ukatu Oganwo. Of course, is a thought personnel in the areas of politics and leadership in Africa. He said something very interesting. He said, "You may not be interested in politics, but politics is always interested in you. Your lack of interest does not stop them from deceiving, or rather does not stop them from deciding your taxes, your healthcare, your safety, your education, or your future. You can ignore politics, but you cannot escape its impact on your life." Now, the reason why I read this quote from him is to educate the young people out there who feel like their votes will not count. Now, let me give you an analysis of what that does. If, for instance, there are 100 registered voters in a community, do you understand? And for instance, out of those 100 registered voters, only 10 come out to vote. What you have done is you have given the incumbent government who want to come into power by any means and all means the opportunity to be able to infuse 90 votes that the people did not cast in that election. Okay. So you have given them more opportunity. Every right-meaning Nigerian of good conscience knows that this present government of the APC and Tinubu, they've not done well. Security, F9. Economy, F9. Number of 100 persons, 80, 85, 90 come out to vote. Look at the margin. So it's just about 10 votes that they will have to play with to rig the election.
Yeah.
So the onus lies on you, the voter out there, to understand that your indifference is not doing any harm to the incumbent government. It's doing more harm to you and to your future.
Okay.
So I want to encourage you. Don't be afraid. Now, let me let you understand something. This present government will be defeated. This incumbent government will be defeated. Why? Ask me why.
Why?
Because we have an incumbency of failure.
Okay. So I need you to
Hold
put a
on.
pin. Okay.
Failure in healthcare delivery, failure in security, failure in power, failure in the economy, failure in education. As I speak with you, we have over 20 million out of school children.
Okay.
As I speak with you, over 7.5 businesses have been lost in this administration. And just to make you understand something, it doesn't look at whether you support Tinubu or not. One major Tinubu supporter, I will mention his name, Pamilerin Adegoke,
Okay.
lost his business in the course of this so-called mandate standing. I mean, the economics of the day didn't ask him, oh, you are an APC supporter,
So
you are a
we'll spare you.
Tinubu supporter. I will spare you from collapsing your business. His business has collapsed.
I need you to put a pin on your thoughts right there, right?
Fine.
So I have a question for Mr. Bassi. You spoke about all of these statistics that you've spoken about right now. So my question to Mr. Bassi is, based off of these things you said, this thing is not really about, okay, yeah, the party is important, right? But the people who are in the party they're not people that came down from heaven. Do you understand what I'm saying, Mr. Bassi? It's not like this article now is somebody that God just created newly and sent to Nigeria that he should come and save us. These are people who time and time again have been part of this same problematic system and systematic flaws that we have been talking about. So, Mr. Bassi, how do you think that it's like we are recycling these people, running in a vicious circle? Do you understand what I'm saying? So I need you to be able to, I want you to comment on that. How do you think that it's the same people who have run the circle, first lap, second lap, and now are back again at this time to tell us that this government has failed in ABC statistical areas, so we can do better? When, if you check their own pedigree, we can't really say much that is different. Basi.
As you are talking, I'm trying as much as possible to understand and be able to make an important input, because topics bordering politics is always kind of very difficult for me to talk about, because we are dealing with a lot of things. You've spoken expressly about how that article will come up, do a better job and all that.
Categorically.
Yes. And
Because he has a pedigree. He
Yes.
has been there as a vice president, and we know what the economy under his
The
leadership
current
was.
president
And,
was also one time governor of a particular
yeah.
state, and they
You
sang
know-
his praises and all of that. But in present
lot-
day, we
But we
can't
have
really
come
say
to
much.
understand that
A lot
those
of-
praises were just psychophancy. They are
But
not
how
true.
do we know that the same
The-
thing is
the-
not going
the
to
challenge-
You
repeat
and
itself
I
with
were
your-
in this country, in Nigeria, in 1999 up until 20.
You know when they gave birth to me? What if they are not giving birth to me by that time?
He said, no, he's
Okay,
saying something
let's
about how
allow
that
him answer.
you saying something about how that him being the vice president at the time, the vice presidency, that
Please, we
particular
need you to
position,
talk into your mic.
that particular position is a ceremonial position. You know that
That's not true.
And let him
it's,
make his
it's
point.
ceremonial. What I mean,
that
by
was not true
is-
at his
and
time.
also it's a portfolio kind of position where it's a particular responsibility that is
Again,
assigned.
that was not the case when His Excellency Atiku Abubakar was Vice President of Nigeria.
Okay.
His
What-
impact is still being
we-
felt till today.
Really, I really don't feel it. I can't say, but I don't.
Okay.
So I mentioned like
what
one-
I'm-
Let him-
I'm
let him make
coming.
his point.
The challenge is, I want you to understand that I am not necessarily here. I think I'm here like a neutral person, right?
Yes, you
I'm
are.
not necessarily here to
But you're a
say.
Nigerian.
I'm not necessarily here to say yes.
And I'm
I
equally
don't want
selling
to
articles to you.
No, we're not buying
particularly-
anybody here. The reason,
Yes.
we're not buying anybody here
the
because
reason I'm actually very reluctant in some of the things I want to say is because the way I perceive politics is, I don't know. It's
a
quite
lot of
different from
times
lot
when
of
we talk
times.
about politics, we speak from an emotional point of view because
Because-
it is our principle
Yes,
or our
because-
faves.
Yes.
It's the same thing
We
with
had-
entertainment.
We had a conversation here earlier where we were talking about how that you mentioned particularly that we have a system that is already running, right? That we have a mindset, we have a way that things has already been done in Nigeria. And then you cannot really change the game if you don't play the game. You made that comment because I'm trying to answer your question
Yeah.
about how are we sure that
because we feel like
these
we are
people- yes.
recycling the same people
Yes.
over and over.
And then you
Can't we
said-
have somebody fresh?
You said something about how that if you want to win an election in Nigeria, that's particularly the
You
way
have to
are
be in the
going
game to change the
do it,
game.
right? Yes. And then you saying that it also boils down to my personal belief that there is no how. Okay, let me use for an example. The reason we Christians believe that Jesus Christ was able to come, die for our sin, and be able to pay for our sin is because the Bible said that when he came, he was tempted. We don't have a high priest who does not
feel what we feel,
feel what we feel and our infirmities, but he was tempted in all ways as we, but
And
he
yet
never
sin not.
sinned. Because if he had sinned, what he would have been paying for would be his own sin, right?
Yeah.
As
Point
that,
made.
yes. So the reason he was able to make the changes to be able to redeem us was because he
not
was
corrupted by the
sinless. He was
system.
not corrupted by the system. Let me use that. That's particularly what I want to bring into the conversation. As how that if you are insisting that somebody who wants to change corruption in the system, PW used to say it most of the times when you want to say something about corruption. He said, if you cannot stop corruption if you yourself is corrupt. So,
True.
for example, you cannot change a system that you're a part of. What I mean by being a part of is that you are practically
by the same rules.
You're playing by the same rule, doing the same thing that everybody is doing, and then you just come up
Expect
and
to
want
see a
to
different
claim
result.
that, yes, and then you want to just come and you look at the issues he had when he was in Anambra. He used to say it, the strikes and all of those things was because he didn't want to follow the way things has already been done. You sign a budget,
past.
you sign something of 10 billion. He was okay, we can't do this with 10 million and all of those things. That was what brought about the first impeachment and that of the second impeachment. So, and he was able to do that, and everybody came to align with him after he won them in court and all that. And you saw how the administration went. And he was able to save money and all of those things. The reason he's able to do that is because he refused. Because if he had followed that same process, the same story would have been what would have happened. So the reason I'm saying that particularly is because you mentioning that you cannot. We've already seen the antecedents. We've already seen how things are working, right? What possibilities is possible here? You don't have to be in power. We can see what you are doing
Track
right
record.
now. Yes, you can see what you are capable of doing, what you are capable of allowing to happen right now, to see what you will be able to do. Some people say that he's running from primaries and all of that. He mentioned particularly that during his time, why he didn't do it is because he didn't want to pay people to do that. If you want to do it because you want to do it. But if you are willing, I cannot compete because we want to pay people. And then sometimes when you pay those people, when you come into power, you're owing them allegiance, or maybe you promise them something and all of those
That
things.
you have
and
to
you will not be
fulfill.
able. I used to give people an example. Look at what happened in Abia State. How that somebody was owing some. I was in Abia State when it happened. When what was his name? The one that
Oti.
left. No.
Who left?
Ibazu left.
Ikpeazu, yeah.
They said that he was owing. It's not they said. I was in a church where one of the lectures we were owed 30-something months. They said, how? Because I heard he was paying his godfathers and all of those things. Because the way the process through which he's entered did not allow him to do what he was supposed to do. So the way I want to answer your question is this: you cannot change a system that you are practically actively participating in the rules that governs that particular system. Because if it's a system you want to change, that means you must be different. Your ideas, your mode of operation should be different from that.
Now,
so we can now
Let him
know
land.
by people who are available, right, from the things that they've done, by the possibilities. Why I'm mentioning possibilities, some of the things that I'm able to sacrifice. There are a lot of things I cannot sacrifice because I want a particular thing. One of the reasons that the system is in shambles like this is because we don't have values, we don't have morality. We want to sacrifice anything for that particular thing. So when we get there, we'll change it. You understand that you're already corrupt before you get to that place. I used to give people an example how that you cannot, if you walk through a path that is full of poop. If you come out there, you'll be smelling like that.
Yeah.
Because you've gone through that particular process.
I need you to react to.
From your analysis, what would you, if you had an opportunity? I really don't want to talk about Mr. Peter Obi, sincerely, because
No, but that's okay.
It's just an example because you've been mentioning article.
Hold on.
And also, and I said, let me give you an example.
I have the floor, please. I have the floor, please. The reason why I made that statement is because over and over and over again, there's this postulation of a Peter Obi being a political saint. And I can tell you categorically with all authority, Mr. Peter Obi is not a political saint.
Nobody is saying that anybody is without a
let me
stain.
land. Just to draw from your first analysis of Christians and what have you, I'll give you. There's a parable.
Mr. Basi, what happened? Why?
There's a parable in the Bible
I'm just
called
listening.
the parable of the bramble. If you read it in Judges chapter 9 from verse 6 to 17. The parable of the bramble talked about how the trees, they wanted a leader to lead them. The vine, they asked the vine tree, he refused. They asked the olive refused. Guess the tree that decided to lead? The bramble. The bramble is like a thorn bush. It doesn't even have leaves to cover or to shade the people. Yet the bramble decided to lead because the bramble was ready to pay the price to lead.
Okay,
What do you mean by paying the price?
That's
Hold
why
on.
Yes,
that
what
was
do
my
you mean
next
by paying
question
the
to
price?
you.
Hold on. Paying the price to lead is availing yourself with the democratic system on ground, going through primaries, going through the election, campaigning to win. And if after the whole process you don't win, you come out with the insinuation, oh, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. If I do this, I'll be dirty. No, you are just deceiving yourself. If you want to lead, if you want to be president,
So you say if you want to be the president, you have to do everything at all costs.
Me land. I never said
I'm
you
waiting
have
for you
to
to
do
land too.
everything at all costs. I'm only saying.
That's particularly what you are
I am
insinuating.
no, that is you taking words that I have not spoken out of my mouth.
You've already said it.
No, I've
My
not
impression?
said it. I've not said anything. All I am saying is for you to be president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, you should be ready to submit yourself to the democratic system on ground.
What does the democratic system
We all know
entail?
what the democratic system on ground is. I've just mentioned it. However, let me just go back to I did answer your second
Second and
question
third, yes.
as regards His Excellency Rotimi Amechi's alignment with
yes.
His Excellency Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, the incoming president of Nigeria.
We
come
can't see, I don't know why you
2027.
keep saying that. Some people don't think that
Now-
we have some sort of
That's
people
what
were
media-
paid.
that's what
Hold
media
on,
people
hold
do.
No,
on.
no,
That's
no.
what media people do.
speaking-
Like,
I am
when
speaking.
they are speaking for
I
their
am
principal,
speaking. I am speaking
always
from
do
the
it.
standpoint of certain things and information I am privy to.
So
that
you have to
I
also
won't
add
be
that that's
able
your
to share here.
perspective.
Yeah, that's my
so
opinion.
we don't look
That's
like
my
we've collected
opinion.
money
Exactly.
to
That's
push
my
a certain
opinion,
narrative.
and that's my
Pushing a
stand.
narrative.
Please, thank you.
Back to your question. I'm happy you are from Rivers State. I am happy
you are from Rivers
I
State.
grew up in
Yes.
Rivers State.
Okay, you grew up in Rivers State.
Yes.
I am happy you highlighted the great strides of His Excellency Rotimi Amechi while he was governor.
Okay.
I'm happy you mentioned that. Now, just to digress a little, Rotimi Amechi, His Excellency, has not worked in any corporate organization before.
Okay.
From his youth service, he has been in politics and governance as chief of staff, as member of the House of Assembly in Rivers State, to Speaker of the Rivers State of Assembly, to governor,
State governor.
then to DG and campaign for Buhari,
But, yeah.
Osibanjo,
For the APC.
He said he was
down
one of the
to
pioneer
be
members.
A minister.
He even said he was on the
Transportation.
board.
Hold on, I'm landing, please.
This your landing is always taking forever. It's like,
No.
it's like your plane fuel.
History helps us to appreciate the future.
The reason that
So let me land, please. Up onto being a minister of
You are
transport.
calm now.
So
you are
now,
calm. If you're not a person that's sitting
it's
down there, then you'll
politics.
be going head to head with the person.
So now,
it's politics.
him aligning with His Excellency Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is him recognizing that they both have what it takes to complement their strengths in taking Nigeria forward. Now, let me mention something here. Let me just let you understand something. Good leadership, good governance, good leaders in this country right now is not hard. It's not rocket science. It is as simple as
We
ABC.
know they know what to do, but
you
they
hear me?
wouldn't do it. It's not as
you hear
simple
what
as
I
say
just
this.
said?
Go bust my head.
This guy,
Do
you
you
are
hear what I
playing
just said?
partisan
No.
politics now. That's what you're doing.
I'm not playing.
We are not having a conversation.
Hold on.
We're not having a
Yes,
conversation
you are
here.
imposing your political
Hold on.
preferences
We are
on
not
us.
having a
That's what you're
conversation.
doing.
No.
I am making a case.
We are not having a conversation
I am
here.
making a case for
Can you imagine?
who-
Say it's as simple as 80s. What happened to the B?
It's as simple as ABCD.
I am making a case for the person
Come on now.
who has been there as vice president and who has contributed immensely in this country. He is the second largest employer of labor in Adamawa State.
We don't
outside
really.
the
It's not what we are
government.
talking
So we
about.
don't really have to
about-
make a
about
case,
that.
right?
I'm answering your question. You asked me a question that why His Excellency Rotimi Amechi is aligning with His Excellency Alhaji Atiku
Okay.
Abubakar. And
Land.
I'm answering your question.
Mm.
And I've answered to say that it is because he recognized that his strength and
Complements
strength
that of-
complement that
So
of
I
His
see what's
Excellency
going on.
Atiku Abubakar,
Please,
and they
Okay,
have
yes.
and they both have what it takes to lead this nation right.
No problem.
And come 2027,
We don't even say that statement
Yeah,
again.
it's okay.
Thanks
Like,
and God bless.
no,
So I'm
like-
coming to you now, Mr. Bassi. So I feel like what's going on here, I might be wrong, and if I'm wrong, I stand to be corrected. But I feel like what's going on here is a lot of times when it comes to our person, we speak with a level of emotional attachment, such that even when
facts are there. The
No,
facts
no,
are
no,
there.
no.
This is not emotional
No, no, no,
attachment.
because-
The facts are there for you to verify.
You're always
You made mention
no,
of the antecedent of His
not
Excellency
about-
Rotimi Amechi.
it's not
Why,
about
as
fact
governor?
that he did that as governor does not mean that he's going to come. Look at the former.
What do
governor-
you mean?
Hold on, former governor of Akwa Ibom State. Look at what Akpabio did when he was governor of Akwa Ibom
You
State,
cannot-
and look at him
no,
in
no,
current
no,
day
no,
as the
no,
senator,
no.
senate
You
president
cannot-
of this country.
you
I'm
cannot
saying that.
compare an Akpabio with a Rotimi Amechi.
Hold on.
It is not possible.
What I'm
You
saying,
cannot.
I'm not making a comparison. What I'm saying is because he has the rich political CV on paper, does not mean he's going to come in power and do what he has done.
But he
Because
has
that's
been there and he has been tested.
That's a wait, hold
as
on.
governor, as minister.
So all of
Is it
these
not the
things
same
you're
way
saying,
people tested Tinubu
all
as
of
governor?
my dear,
Like, I don't really
all
get
of
it.
all these
Who
things,
tested Tinubu? Nobody tested
Lagos
Tinubu.
people did.
They did.
All of these things you're saying,
But
is
we have seen
because-
that they were wrong.
It's because
You might
this is
still
your,
be wrong.
this is
It's
your
No,
preference.
particularly what we
Yeah,
want
this
want
is
you
your
to
preference.
understand.
That's why.
You can still
So
be
that's
wrong.
what's
You
going
cannot
on
infer
here.
on something that
Exactly.
has not yet happened.
It's because it's your preference.
Exactly.
When it comes to our faves, we take it personal. We lose sight of every other factor. That so you will say that it's fact, no doubt, but it's because it's your person. It's the same way a pro Tinubu person would stand and tell you all the achievements that Tinubu has made in
Favor,
this government.
I did not put a gun
regardless of
to
the
your
faults.
head for you to.
But you're making a case.
For you to
We're not supposed to be
ascribe.
making a case here.
For you to ascribe the great
Basi, I'm coming to you
achievement of His Excellency
You
Rotimi
see what I'm
Amechi
talking about?
in Rivers State.
The presence,
You
the
made
usage
mention
of his
it
choice
yourself
of words. Are you
because
seeing?
you could see
You
the
said
good work
here.
he did in Rivers
You
State.
just said here that come 2027 he's going to be. Nobody knows that for sure. How can you come up here and tell us that by all means come
as if you are-
2027?
I didn't say by all means.
No, because that's what you're
I
saying.
didn't say by
you can't
all
tell us
means.
that come 2027 he's going to be the. Come on now, come on
It's
now.
not what we are talking
Come
about.
on now,
Partic-
and you're saying you are making a case, and you're for the person who has. Come on now, don't do
I've-
that.
I've always
Won't you
said
be
You're
it.
happy?
speaking out of
Won't you-
passion for your person.
No,
I
no,
get
no.
that.
Hold on. Let me just
I
ask this
get
question.
that.
Let me just ask this question. Just a simple question of comparison. The life of Nigeria as a country, the life of Nigerians as people in the country in the years of the PDP and now of the APC. Which was better?
Obviously, it was
Let me
better that
answer.
time.
Hold on,
Let me-
hold on.
wait.
We
hold
say
on,
these things
wait,
over and
hold
over again.
on.
These people
I'm
come and they
getting
tell us
somewhere.
all
It's
things.
okay.
We're going
I'm
to make it
getting
better.
somewhere.
We're going to
Let's-
change
let's-
this.
let's-
We're
no.
going to give you better
You already-
things than the
you've
and then
already-
it keeps repeating.
You've already been
It's
getting
literally
somewhere
the
for a
same
long time now.
cycle.
Let me say.
It's the same damn cycle that
let me
keeps
say
repeating.
something.
It's the same people.
Let me say
It's
something.
literally the same people. Nothing has changed.
It is the same people because
same-
they are the ones that put themselves.
We need somebody
Let me-
else. Don't keep
enter
giving
the
me the
ring.
same thing and you're
Let me-
telling
let me
come
tell
That
on.
is
you.
why that is why let me now make you
on.
understand something in the ADC which I believe will be of help to you. That is why in the ADC we have the inclusivity of the youths in the party.
Just that in
Hold
his
on, I'm
political
getting
jargon.
somewhere.
Nothing like
I'm
English.
getting
Although I
somewhere.
beg.
It is not political jargon. The facts are there. Our present national publicity secretary, deputy national publicity secretary, is a young lady. She's a young lady. She's a youth.
What does that do for me?
Our
Do you know, I don't
present-
really-
Hold
I don't
on,
really-
hold
do for
on,
me?
hold
No,
on.
no, no. I
I'm
don't
getting-
really-
Doesn't
No,
change
I'm
anything.
asking
I
your
don't really-
question.
I
When
don't
you talk
really-
about the same people, it is
it changes
because
nothing.
the
It doesn't
young
change anything.
generation
When-
they are not
when-
putting themselves
wait.
out there
People that
for
they are
leadership.
themselves,
When
isn't
APC
it?
started, exactly what you're saying was what a
Doesn't
lot
change
of youth
anything.
You
said.
can't compare APC
They said
with ADC.
they said that
That's how they started.
they are
Their
being
templates
included
are
in the planning.
different.
They are being included in whatever planning they were doing for the political future and that of the Nigerians and all that. And now look at where we are. Let me make something clear to you. I've always believed that what we are dealing with in Nigeria particularly is a problem of the mind. I've always been saying it.
Okay.
The problem is this. You said something about how that the lives of Nigerians were better when the PDP was in power and all of those things. Now I tell you that I don't look at this partisan politics. I look at the individuality.
Okay.
Look at what happened in the Abia State. I stayed in Abia State almost all through my life before I came to Abuja. But look at what happened in the Abia State. PDP, this particular PDP was there for 20-something years. They were there. They did absolutely nothing. They left that state in shambles. And I'm not talking about individuals now. That's what I'm telling you. When we want to talk about politics, politically, I don't want to talk about
You cannot
party.
use an exception to
Let me
judge
tell
the
you.
situation.
Let's judge
that
people
was
by
an
who they
exception.
are.
You're just
Let's
That
judge-
was an
passionate.
exception.
Why are you sure that this one will not also be an
It will
exception?
not. It will not.
How do you know?
It
If something
will
is
not.
what
You
PDP
know how
people
you're
said,
not
It
excited.
will not.
You
Let me
can't
tell you
predict the
something.
future.
Let me tell you
You can't
what
predict
really
the future.
happened. Another person came, and I don't even look at
Party.
the party particularly. We are looking at somebody. Look at. I always say it. We have something
Thank
in our
you. You
hands.
said we are looking at somebody.
We are looking at our hands.
The reason
Let me
why
tell you,
I made
there's also we
a
always
question
say
on that analysis.
That's what I'm saying.
Was because the person.
Did you see that
the
your
person
principal-
then-
your
the person
principal, who
then-
was the president?
Who was the person then? Who was
when
the vice
Obasanjo
president?
wait,
Who was the vice
Obasanjo
president
was
then?
even accusing his vice of corruption.
All those
Obasanjo was also
were what
accusing
you
his vice of
liken
corruption.
to
And
OG
then
without
we always
IG.
know that
Now
when
that we
people
know,
pursue-
now that
when-
everybody
So,
has
both of you are
access to
speaking at the same
internet,
time.
we have come to
One person has
understand
to
that
talk.
those
I have
things were
migraine.
just
That's what I was
fictitious
trying to
political
avoid.
But you're not
vendettas.
letting him make his point.
That's
Let him
what I
make
was
his
trying
point.
to avoid all
So
the
make your
while.
point now, Mr. Bassey.
I've been trying to avoid.
Make your point,
See,
Bassey. Make your point.
what I'm saying in essence is
You said something
We'll
about your
see-
principal, something.
yes, his president accused the vice of corruption during the time of the administration, and then you are here talking about how
Which
that
has been
what
Allow
debated
he
him make
did,
his point now,
and
Mr.
he did,
Chris.
and he
Let him
did,
make
and
his
all
point.
of those things. And then we've always known that I don't like people that want something by all means. It's exactly what happened during Buhari's time. Buhari said that if he doesn't win, that blood will flow.
Is it not
And
what is happening now? It's my turn,
Wait
Emilio
now. And he later
Is that not how we
won.
got here?
And immediately he won. Look at how he left Nigeria in shambles.
Because you
And then
want to,
another
you want
person-
to,
That's what I'm
you
telling
want to reap the
That's why
gratification
even
of why you are
people- I
there,
always
not
tell
necessarily
people,
for the interest of the
go
people.
through the process. Have patience. If it's something that you should have, you would have it. If you have a plan, I don't think that you want to do good for somebody. You will not force yourself to do good to those people. Even Jesus Christ, when he came and died for us, it's also if you believe and accept that those things will start working for you. I fear people who want it by all means. I think this man should have gone and see that. That's why Peter B said
Which
something.
man? Which man, please?
I'm coming.
Wait, now let him
Peter
make
B
his
said
point.
something.
Calm
Peter B
down.
said something. I think one of his interviews. He said that if he doesn't win this election, I don't think he said he was going to come again because he said at that age he doesn't want to be.
Associated
Yes,
with things
it's
like
all
that.
the
Because you're
chaos
supposed to
and
be
all of this. You're
resting.
supposed to be resting. I'm not saying what I'm saying in essence is even the way we pursue money. I've always been saying it. I'm not the kind of person that want it by all means. I will sell my identity. I will sell my values and all that just to get it. Anybody who does that, if I see the traces of such habit, I fear what that person is going to do. Because why?
What is it that you really want
Why
to
should
get
you do
done
that
when
you
you-
want to get done? Is it money? Is it that power? And all of those things. That's what I fear.
Maybe to be
I
added
think-
to your pedigree
yes,
that you've
as you
you've
were
become
one of the.
president.
So what I'm saying here, as I said, I want to be as neutral as possible, but then I also affiliated to somebody who has traces of the kind of morality I want to show.
There's no
and then I'm not
neutrality.
saying
Just say
I'm not
it,
saying
let everybody know.
And what I'm particularly I'm saying I'm not saying you should not have a principle. I'm not saying that you should not support who you want to support. But what I'm saying,
But you're-
what I'm saying in
nobody
essence,
will
you
flog him
never
for it.
let
what I'm
him
saying
This is
finish.
democracy.
You
you
never
don't
let
allow
him
me
finish.
to say.
Well,
But
then
what
you
I'm
say
saying,
you have the floor.
what
Let
I'm
him
saying
finish.
particularly is this: you can support whoever you want to support. Say whatever it is that you want to say. But what I want you to be human, be empathetic, and be realistic as much as possible. What I'm saying that you cannot be saying because he did this, he did that, they said this. I'm telling you, they've already been saying that. And then I focus particularly on the process. I say, if somebody wants to go through the same process, that was why when I started talking, I mentioned process. If you are kind of somebody who want to subject yourself to this same process of bribery, structure of corruption, where what we talk about, somebody will say, somebody that has their head intact will now say, I'm not going to vote for this person because he doesn't have the structure.
Sorry.
It's crazy.
Sorry.
Because what is that structure? I'm coming. What is that structure you're supposed to do?
No, hold on.
The structure you said.
See, hold on.
The structure you are particularly saying was supposed to be.
Okay, sorry. I love
Yeah,
I love
you've
the
got his
point.
line of
No.
thoughts.
I'm sorry. Hold on. I love what the statement you just made now about subjecting the person to a. So let me just ask you a direct. Sorry, I'm not the anchor.
No,
but
yes,
I just
sir.
have
Okay.
need to ask this.
Ask. How we should ask and allow
Hold
to
on.
be.
I'll ask and I'll allow you to
You will
answer.
not allow him.
I will allow you.
You will let him finish.
Peter Obi is seated in front of you right now, and he's asking you, Basi, what would you advise me to do, seeing that the system is corrupt according to you?
Okay, so what you're trying to say, or from everything that you said now, you've been able to clearly say that the opposition has all it takes and the necessary capacity to unseat the current Bola Ahmed Tinubu led administration. That's what you've been able to say, by hook or by crook, one way or the other. That's what you have told us now, Abi. So we have to make our final words so that we can wrap it up.
Please, it's not going to be by hook or by crook. It's going to be through a legitimate voting system, because Nigerians presently have seen that Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his presidency has nothing else to offer Nigerians. As I speak with you right now, it's either Bola Ahmed Tinubu resigns honorably or
God,
be
I
ready to face the disgrace that will happen to him and the APC in 2027. And now, heaven will not fall. In Equatorial Guinea, the government resigned because they were not able to live up to the promises they made to the people during campaign. This did not happen 10 years ago. Just last month of June 2026, the government of Equatorial Guinea resigned. So Bola Ahmed Tinubu resigning as a result of his abysmal failure. I mean, he himself.
We did not collect money on this podcast
I'm
to
telling
promote
you,
anybody.
I'm hearing it for the first time. I'm hearing it for the first time. Please, my hand is not there.
Basi.
Bola Ahmed Tinubu himself set a standard during one of his speeches where he said, if Nigerians do not experience 24-hour power supply, they should not vote for him for second term. So this is me telling Nigerians, His Excellency, let me give that to him. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has not met one of his major campaign promises, and he has told us to vote him out. So we are telling you now that the ADC is here as a better opportunity.
That's not what we are saying here. You are threatening your president.
Vote in the right person and the right candidate to be the next president.
So you don't want to go to jail for Nigeria. My hand is not there.
Nigeria.
Okay.
So please go out there, get your PVCs, register, come out to vote, because the greatest political party is the voters' party. The power of the people is greater than the people in power.
Oh yeah,
Thank you,
nice one,
and
nice
God
one.
bless.
Mr. Basi, final
All right.
words.
The thing is, I like your passion, particularly irrespective
Just
of.
a drop lines.
Yes,
The power of the
irrespective
people is
of-
greater than the people in power.
He's a professional, irrespective of whatever it entails. Yes, but particularly, I've always advocated that. Personally, I believe in transformation of the mind, and then our mind aligns with whatever it is. That's why I perceive politics to be a moral obligation.
Okay.
Right? Yes, because who you support is not just about supporting the person. I believe that there's something you saw in the person in terms of morality,
Sure.
in terms of responsibility,
Sure.
empathy, and all of those before you throw in your support. If you
Yeah.
are one of those people that just I support this person just
Blindly.
just because they are coming from
Or
your,
for
your
benefits.
place, then you are an idiot.
I
Because
agree.
there are a lot of things we consider before you consider the healthcare and all of those things. Because some of these things, when the consequences start coming, people are dying in the hospitals because of lack of good.
And these
healthcare
are consequences
systems.
that will
These are
affect even the
consequences of
generations to come.
Exactly. When we advocate for these people, you don't know. You are making a decision that will last for the next 4 years and impact on yourself and that of and your children particularly and all that. So before you make such decision, make sure that you're making that decision from a place of
informed.
yes,
So-
yes, you're making an informed decision and all
Yeah.
of those, and
We
not
have
just
to- we have
an
to
emotional
wrap up.
decision
Out of
because the person is
tribe,
coming
out
from
of
yes.
sentiment of
We have to
So
wrap up.
that's
tribalism,
just what I want to
religion,
say.
As
the case
expected,
may
I
be.
cannot take anybody's side.
Honestly,
I just
I-
want to categorically say that this is not a podcast to promote nobody.
Exactly.
Or any particular. We don't do partisan politics here. However, if we really want a change, maybe we should try what happened in Nepal, in Nigeria. That might just be the revolution that will give us what we want. So thank you guys for watching. We'd like to hear your comments.
Please, if you want true
and your
change,
views.
because APC told us about
Comment
change,
section.
true
Go,
change.
go.